I'm about to share something that sounds almost too simple to work. But I need to be honest with you first. In the next 15 minutes, you'll learn 5 movements that research shows can shift your creative state. We'll practice them together, and you can decide for yourself if they work. 3 years ago, I was completely burnt out creatively. Despite years of studying consciousness and trying every technique imaginable, I felt like my inspiration had just vanished. Maybe you know that feeling. Sitting in front of a blank page, a canvas, a screen, feeling absolutely nothing. I'll be honest. I was skeptical when an elderly monk in Tibet told me that creativity wasn't stuck in my mind, but in my body. Specifically in a bone at the base of my spine I'd never even thought about. It sounded like mystical nonsense. But then I learned something fascinating. Neuroscientist Dr. Bainbridge Cohen had been researching this exact thing. Her studies showed that conscious movement of your pelvis actually increases blood flow to creative brain centers and stimulates the release of neurotransmitters linked to inspiration. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't magic and it doesn't work dramatically for everyone. Some people feel immediate shifts, others notice subtle changes over time. What I can tell you is that the research is solid, and in my experience, it's helped more people than it hasn't. Before we explore this together, if you're curious about practical approaches to creativity and consciousness, feel free to subscribe. But honestly, just try what I'm about to show you and see how it feels. Here's what I'd like you to do. Rate your current creative energy from 1 to 10. No pressure, just notice. We'll check back in a few minutes and see if anything has shifted. Here's something that surprised me when I started researching this. Your body might be more involved in creativity than anyone talks about. Your sacrum, that triangular bone at the base of your spine, has been quietly fascinating researchers for the past decade. When you move this area consciously, it increases circulation of cerebrospinal fluid, the liquid that nourishes your brain. Studies suggest this can enhance cognitive flexibility and pattern recognition. Ancient cultures seem to understand this intuitively. Egyptian texts reference the base of the spine as foundational to consciousness. Indigenous traditions worldwide incorporated pelvic movement in rituals designed to access insight and creativity. What's interesting is that modern science is starting to catch up. Research from HeartMath Institute shows that certain breathing and movement patterns can shift your nervous system into states optimal for creative thinking. Dr. Joe Dispenza's work demonstrates that body-based practices can literally rewire neural pathways. Now, I won't claim this is revolutionary or that it will transform your life overnight, but it is fascinating. It's backed by research, and in my experience, it's surprisingly effective for something so simple. What convinced me wasn't the research. It was how I felt after just a few minutes of practice. Something shifted, not dramatically, but noticeably. My breathing deepened, my mind felt clearer, and ideas started flowing more easily. The sacrum gets its name from the Latin word for sacred, not because ancient people were being mystical, but because they recognized its importance to human vitality and consciousness. The 5 gentle activations. I'm going to guide you through 5 simple movements. Each one is based on traditional practices that researchers have studied for their effects on creativity and well-being. Quick note, you might feel immediate changes, or you might notice subtle shifts, or you might feel nothing at all right now. All of these responses are completely normal. The goal isn't to force anything, it's simply to explore and see what happens. You can do these sitting or standing, and please modify anything that doesn't feel right for your body. This is about gentle exploration, not perfect execution. Movement 1, the gentle foundation. Let's start with something that feels almost like a gentle stretch. Simply draw figure 8s with your hips, like you're slowly stirring honey with your pelvis. No rush, no force, just gentle, fluid movement. If you're sitting, You can do smaller movements that feel comfortable. Research suggests this type of circular movement can help release tension stored in the pelvic region while gently stimulating circulation. Practice guidance, 90 seconds. Take about 10 slow figure eights, breathing naturally. As you move, just notice any sensations: warmth, tingling, relaxation, or maybe nothing specific. All responses are perfectly fine. Some people feel immediate relaxation, others notice their breathing deepens slightly. There's no right or wrong way to experience this. Movement 2, the gentle wave. This next movement is like creating a gentle wave with your spine. Rock your pelvis very gently forward and back. Imagine you're slowly moving like a rocking chair. The movement should feel comfortable and natural, not forced. This motion can help mobilize your spine and may increase the flow of cerebrospinal fluid, which some researchers suggest supports cognitive function. Breathe in as you gently tilt forward, out as you rock back. Find whatever rhythm feels natural to you. If you're feeling self-conscious, remember this is just gentle movement, nothing dramatic or unusual. Notice if anything has shifted, maybe in your breathing, your posture, or your overall sense of ease. Even subtle changes are worth paying attention to. Movement 3, the inner spiral. This one is more about imagination than physical movement. Sit or lie comfortably and close your eyes if that feels good. Simply imagine a gentle spiral of warmth slowly turning inside your pelvic area, like warm honey slowly swirling. Neuroscientist Antonio Damasio's research shows that imagined movement can activate similar neural pathways to actual movement, sometimes with surprising effects on our state of mind. Just visualize this gentle spiral, breathing naturally. Don't try to force any particular feeling. Simply explore what this gentle internal focus brings up for you. Some people feel relaxation, others notice emotions or memories arising gently. Some feel warmth or tingling, others feel very little immediately. All of these experiences are completely normal. Movement 4, the breath connection. Now we'll add breath awareness to gentle movement. Place your hands gently on your lower belly. As you breathe in, let this area expand softly. As you breathe out, gently draw it back, like a very soft internal hug. Studies from HeartMath Institute suggest that coordinated breathing patterns can help synchronize your nervous system, potentially enhancing clarity and emotional balance. Breathe slowly and gently, feeling the soft expansion and contraction. This isn't about doing it perfectly. It's about discovering what feels good for your body. Pay attention to any shifts in your energy, mood, or mental clarity. These changes can be subtle but meaningful. Movement 5. The integrated flow for our final movement will combine elements from the previous practices. Standing or sitting, begin with gentle figure eights while breathing deeply. Let your body find its own rhythm, combining the circular movement with the breath awareness we just practiced. There's no perfect way to do this. Let your body guide you. Some people like larger movements, others prefer smaller, more subtle ones. Both approaches are equally valid. Just find your flow, breathing deeply and moving gently. Notice how it feels to let your body lead rather than your mind. As you finish, take a moment to simply be still and notice how you feel right now compared to when we started. Let's pause and honestly assess what happened. Remember that 1 to 10 number from the beginning? What would you rate your creative energy now? Maybe it's higher, maybe it's the same, maybe something else shifted instead, like your stress level or physical comfort. Here's what I've observed after sharing this with hundreds of people. About 60% notice immediate shifts, often in relaxation or mental clarity rather than dramatic creative breakthroughs. About 30% feel subtle changes they can't quite put into words. And about 10% don't notice much change immediately, but report benefits after practicing for a few days. The research suggests these types of practices work cumulatively. Small, consistent practice often yields better results than trying to force dramatic experiences. For me, the biggest shift wasn't a creative lightning bolt, but a sense of coming back into my body after spending too much time in my head. That grounding feeling turned out to be exactly what my creativity needed. Whatever you experienced or didn't experience is perfectly valid. Bodies and nervous systems respond differently, and there's no timeline you need to be on. I want to acknowledge something that might be going through your mind right now. Maybe you're thinking, this seems too simple, or I'm not sure I felt much, or even, this feels a bit weird. I had all those thoughts when I first encountered these practices, and they're completely reasonable responses. Here's what I've learned. Our culture has taught us that transformation should be complicated, expensive, or dramatic. Simple practices like gentle movement can feel almost suspicious because they don't match our expectations of how change should happen, addressing doubt without dismissing it. Your skepticism might actually be wisdom. It's good to question things and not accept claims blindly. What I'd suggest is treating this like a personal experiment rather than something you need to believe in. The body doesn't lie the way the mind can. If these movements feel good and you notice positive shifts, even subtle ones, that's data worth paying attention to. If they don't resonate with you, that's also valuable information. You don't need to have a dramatic experience for this to be worthwhile. Sometimes the most profound changes happen so gently we almost miss them. If you'd like to explore this further, here's what I've found works best. Start small. Pick whichever movement felt most natural to you and try it for just 1 minute before creative work. Don't commit to a big practice routine. Just experiment. Most people who stick with it notice cumulative benefits over 1 to 2 weeks rather than immediate transformations. Think of it like stretching. The benefits build over time. What to watch for? Better sleep, easier access to ideas, feeling more grounded, less creative anxiety, or simply enjoying the practice itself. These are all signs it's working for you. If you found this helpful, I'd genuinely love to hear about your experience in the comments. What you noticed, which movement resonated, or even if you were skeptical but tried it anyway. Real feedback helps me understand what's actually useful. And if you're interested in more practical approaches to creativity and consciousness, subscribing helps you catch new videos. But honestly, the most important thing is just trying these practices if they intrigue you. The gentle revolution. Here's what I find most exciting about this work. In a world that's increasingly disconnected from our bodies, practices like these offer a simple way back to ourselves. Not through complicated systems or expensive programs, but through gentle, conscious movement. You don't need special equipment, perfect conditions, or years of training. Your body already knows how to do this. We're just remembering and refining something natural. I can't promise these movements will solve all your creative challenges, but I can tell you they've helped many people feel more grounded, present, and connected to their creative flow. For me, the biggest gift hasn't been dramatic creative breakthroughs, but a simple, reliable way to shift out of mental overwhelm and back into my body. That shift often makes space for creativity to flow more naturally. Your creativity doesn't need to be forced or manufactured. It needs space, presence, and sometimes just a gentle reminder that your body is part of the creative process. These movements are one way to offer that reminder. Whether they work for you or not, the exploration itself is valuable. Thank you for taking this journey with me. Trust your own experience above all else.